Good morning. Welcome to the Boopcast. We are your host, SheNoob, and
Cory.
it is 6:12 a.m. So forgive me if I'm not very enthused. You fuckers better appreciate this.
I legitimately feel so bad for you because you have such a full-on day too.
I do. We won't get into that though. I just have work and 2 30th birthdays to go to. Love that for me. Sorry, I'm giggly. It's these boys. I blame them completely. Thanks, Drew. Thanks, Brandon. Awesome. Okay. This week we have on a lovely returning guests, Liam and Alex, who have both been on once? Twice? Who's been on once and who's been on twice? Both once. Yeah, but separately. You can talk now, Liam, by the way.
Hi.
You're both just sitting there nodding like, yes, ma'am. Yes, Alex, you can also talk.
G'day.
Not if you're gonna do that.
She's like, never mind.
Never mind.
I'll just mute myself.
Scratch that.
Jesus Christ. Okay, welcome to
Hello.
Boopcast episode 37. 47? Christ.
Oh God. This is already such a shit show.
We're going to discuss chapter 4 of volume 7 today. Well, they're going to. I'm just going to sit here and not look pretty.
She's gonna take a nap. She's gonna be like,
somebody get me a coffee. I have mango juice close enough.
I have a coffee right here. So
Thank you for rubbing it in.
I love it.
Coffee! I would have made coffee, but my roommates are asleep because it's the crack of dawn and I don't want to run the kettle and wake them up. Okay. Alright, cool. Yeah, RWBY. Let's talk about that, but before we do, who are you guys? What do you do? We'll start with Alex.
Oh, hi. I'm Alex. You may know me as a YouTuber, kind of, called Torchwood Boy. I react to RWBY and other things sometimes when I can be bothered, which is not very often. So yeah, RWBY. Yeah, that's what I do. Also, I do impressions, but
Yes.
Yes.
Liam?
And I'm Liam from Liam Catterson. I also do reactions like Buffy, RWBY, of course, and a few other animes currently. And yeah, I'm just a bit more annoying, so yeah.
I don't know, I'd say you're both equal parts annoying. But yeah.
oh, oh sorry, I forgot one thing. I'm also the DM for the Bounty's Chase, which is a
Oh,
D&D.
yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I was like, you guys
Another
also-
player!
I don't get to tune into that very often, but what I've seen of it, I do enjoy because
Well,
the
hell.
group of you together are hilarious. So definitely check out the Bounty's Chase if you're interested in Dungeons and Dragons. I just hit my finger on the desk.
Yeah. It's also a huge praise coming from her because she does
I
not
hate
like
D&D.
D&D.
So yeah, I like to find D&D groups that are entertaining because I find it horrendously boring. So yeah, the Bounty's Chase is one, so definitely go and check that out. I don't have a link. I'm sorry, I'm disorganized.
No, don't be silly. It's fine. You'll find it if you Google it. It'll be on some rando's channel, so it's fine.
Who's Kelly?
Oh, she's one of my greatest friends.
Oh.
Hi, Kelly.
I was like, I thought you were just like, hey, Kelly in the chat for no reason. Hi, Bree, by the way, welcome. And Kelly, apparently. Hi.
Hi, Kelly.
I am a disaster today. We're just going with it. I don't have notes. I didn't have time to take notes this week. My week has been insane.
As I was saying before the stream, I was like, this wasn't really an episode that like, it wasn't like chapter 3 where like I had like 4 pages of notes. Like this is a pretty straightforward episode all around.
Yeah, it was pretty much like a cool down episode. And I guess some like elevated excitement towards the second part. But yeah, because we just finished the fight and everyone was talking, and there were some really, really beautiful moments.
Yes, it is nice to see so many people here, considering how fucking early it is. Okay. By the way, I apologize that you can see all of the Skype information on Liam and Alex. I couldn't get rid of it. I don't know why. Skype is dumb. So we're just gonna deal with it because I couldn't be bothered resetting everything. And you're just gonna have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Not even sorry. Okay, sorry. Chapter 4. Repeat.
Oh man.
Oh god, this is such a mess.
It is a mess, but you know, I kind of knew that it was going to be a mess today because I'm sleep deprived as fuck. Sorry.
And you invited me on this.
Yeah, I knew I made a mistake as soon as I did it, but yeah, it's a good kind of mistake.
Oddly enough, what my parents said.
Oh, relevant.
Oh my god.
Okay, so on the subject of mistakes, RWBY. I don't know why that is linked. Cory, you fucking take over. I'm done with myself today.
Okay, it's 6 a.m. That's a bad time. But yeah, so the episode starts with Amity Coliseum arriving at the launch site, which, I mean, I was kind of surprised they were already moving it there, but I guess it makes sense that they would probably want to construct it on the place that they will launch from.
Yeah.
But
I loved
it
the
seems
visual.
a little premature, I think.
Yeah, it surprised me, but I loved the visual of like the opening shots of like Amity Coliseum going over the sun and stuff. Was really pretty looking. That's the extent of my analysis.
Definitely. It was nice to see it again.
Yeah,
it's like the actual everything about it.
It has huge significance for the story. Like that's where everything started 4 years ago. Fuck, has it really been 4 years? Jesus.
I know.
And the sheep faunus, I initially thought it was like a fawn faunus, that it was like a pun. But it does look like a sheep and it's super cute. Why are the faunus so adorable in Mantle?
I know. First we have the bear lady, and now we've got this cute little sheep. I'm like, they're just giving us all our faunus babies, aren't they?
I know, literally so many faunus waifus. And I love it. I'm living for it.
But yeah, I noticed that those two are both the sheep, and then the other one are both likely happy huntresses, or at least somehow related to Robin, because the sheep has the little symbol that Robin has in the intro on her.
Yes, I saw that too. I did think that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because at first I thought they were just like Atlas scouts, but then I was like, oh no.
It seems
like they were watching Ironwood.
Yeah, it seems strange for them to just be insignificant, because they sort of
just civilians, like,
ooh,
look at that pretty thing. Yeah.
Sorry, my slobs is throwing alerts at me and I'm like, fuck off. I can't be bothered with you. So I'm loving seeing all the different kinds of faunus, and just how many there are of them in Atlas and in Mantle. It's pretty ironic that it's a place that's full of faunus and there's so much like heat between the faunus and the humans here, and a lot of bad blood. I mean, it makes sense though, in a way that like they want us to be thinking about the faunus when we're in Atlas, because it sucks for them there. Whereas like when we were in Mantle, even though like we still saw faunus discrimination there, it wasn't really as much of a focal point, especially with everything that we were also seeing in Menagerie. But now they're like, you said Mantle.
I did say Mantle. You're right.
Yes, you did.
But yeah, in Haven. Yeah, so it's I think it's interesting that they keep bringing it up, and I hope that they actually do something more with that. Because even though like we've seen in the last couple episodes that they like are kind of addressing it with what Marrow said in episode 3 and what happened in episode 1 and stuff, but I'm like I really want to like see it more. Like I want them to go to an active Schnee Dust Company mines and like see the conditions there or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
that would definitely be cool. I'd also like as a viewer to see that, you know, from our perspective, to sort of see how it all works. Just so you can get a better feel for it. Yeah.
The sort of dynamic that's at play, the power dynamic between humans and the faunas.
Definitely, because I don't imagine it's a great one.
No. That's probably quite shit, if we're honest. But
yeah. but it would be I think it would be great. Here goes like in that emotional point, just seeing how difficult it would be for the faunas. So yeah, I would like to visit that at some point in the future. But yeah.
I mean, especially because I know a lot of people who are like, or at least the like antis are like, man, or they're like, Atlas is supposed to be super racist, yet they have Marrow on the Aesops. What's this about? And stuff, where it's like, well,
because Atlas is full of faunas, so statistically, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, like we also saw Neon, you know.
She's from Atlas.
Just, yeah, we don't know how hard that those two would have to have fought to get into their respective. Well, I guess they probably both went to Atlas Academy, but they probably had a harder time getting into the academy than, you know, Flint did, or who else do we know that went to Atlas?
I don't know. Penny? Yeah, no, she wouldn't have gone to Atlas Academy.
Where were Team Auburn from?
Vacuo.
Were they Mistral?
Yeah.
Oh no, they were Vacuo. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Hey, Chozo.
Yeah, so I think that those two were the only Atlas huntsmen we knew.
Yeah, Brandon, I agree what Harriet said about the teams and how like they just count on each other to keep each other alive, but they're not like friends and they don't plan on being friends. Yeah. I'm like, that's sad, but also makes a lot of sense because a lot of huntsmen would see it as just a job. And these guys didn't go to school together, they were just thrown together as a group. Indigo was from Vacuo. Yeah, Auburn, I think, was also Vacuo. Yeah. I don't remember.
Yeah.
No, Dodge thinks they were Haven.
Oh, Haven? Oh, whatever. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Somewhere.
It's been a while since I watched that traumatizing volume.
Yeah, I avoid it like the plague.
Yeah, you just have to like suppress it so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of things happened in that volume that I don't remember because I blocked it out. I have to watch that volume with Heather soon. Oh God.
Oh.
Heather has not seen RWBY. She's seen volume 1, so we're going volume 2 next, but we're working our way through it. So she's had some things spoiled.
You know what to do.
Inevitably.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's been spoiled about Yang, right? That's.
Oh yeah, she's been mega spoiled about Yang, but I don't
hard
think she
to
knows
escape
about.
that.
I don't think she knows about the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Well, good luck with that.
I'm not gonna say in case she's listening. Is she here? No, she isn't. Yeah, she doesn't know about Pyrrha yet.
Oh God.
I watched most of the volumes again and again in the company of beloved reactors. Yeah. Volume 3 is one I avoid rewatching.
But it's so fun watching like new people react to it though, because you're like, "Maha, suffer."
Yeah.
You get a sense of Schadenfreude watching a new reactor go through RWBY because you're like, wait till you get to volume 3, bitch.
Yeah.
It all goes downhill real fast. Oh God.
Yes.
Oh man.
Nobody's ever prepared for it. That's the thing, because RWBY is such a upbeat, uplifting, light, happy, funny show, and then volume 3, chapter 6 happens, and it's all downhill from there.
Yeah. I remember thinking when that first aired, I was like, wow, that's really dark for RWBY. It can't get
And
much worse than
then
this. And then it was like,
chapter 11.
Ha,
Chapter
ha.
9, and
Yes.
then chapter 11, and then chapter 12, and it's like, oh dear.
It can't get much worse. We've got them in the trap.
RWBY went through puberty in volume 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, all of it. Just like
basically.
angst, like
It was-
angsty
it was-
emo goth phase, all of it all at once.
It was like puberty in like the span of 6 chapters.
Yep. Essentially.
You know, instead of like 7 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Instead of 7 years. I'm still going through puberty. What are you talking about?
That's not how that works.
It's been 84 years.
oh God. I just thought of an 84-year-long puberty. No, thank you.
Oh,
Oh,
think of the
God.
acting.
Oh my God. Poor
Man.
Ozma.
Oh.
I
He's-
know.
he's-
All
He's in
this
Oscar
time.
right now, all this time.
Don't say he's in
Uh,
Oscar.
Oh! Wow! This has been fun.
Are we done? Yeah. We can just go now. Yeah.
Oh, you broke me, and Alex.
Well, it was only a matter of time before I put my foot in my mouth.
That's what Osbin said.
That's what happens when I let you take charge of this room. Oh
don't know.
God, Christ. Okay, moving on quickly.
Oh, God.
Phrasing.
Jozo, that's really not any better.
No, it's not any better.
Oh boy.
Moving on.
Oh.
What were we talking
Next.
about?
I don't remember.
Going through.
Oh, we
puberty,
were
yeah.
talking about the Aesops not being
Oh, yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting
Yeah.
to me.
I just liked that it was that like all of Team RWBY seemed really like saddened by that,
Yeah.
and because they were just like that's so, because it's so sad that like, you know, they're putting all of their, like, they have to trust these people with literally their lives, and they're like, you know,
There's
not
that
even
lack
like,
of
you're my
connection.
friend.
There's that lack of
Yeah.
emotional bond
Yeah.
that Team RWBY have, and
Lack
it's a
of
pretty
camaraderie. Yeah.
it's a pretty
Yeah.
disheartening thing to hear. Like, oh, we're not really buddies. We just value each other with our lives, and that's it. We do the job. Bingo.
But then, like,
Was
her
really-
comment about, like, we don't confuse the two. Like,
Yeah.
it, like,
Yeah.
seems like a jab at them because they are friends, but it's like, bitch, if you had any idea what they have been through together. Shut
Yeah.
your
Exactly.
mouth.
That kind of
Yeah, and
took
that's-
my. Sorry, go on, Cory.
No, you go first.
Okay. I was just gonna say that kind of took my marrow and clover ship and just went. And it was dead.
Listen, I think Marrow is the rookie there. He's probably still like, I'm not your guys' friends, but secretly he's like, be my friend, please. Like,
Yeah,
I-
think
because like
I-
even in that
actually-
opening
yeah.
shot, he looked over at Clover and was like, "Oh, you're not excited? Gruff
I-
military."
Yeah.
I made jokes throughout this episode that he was secretly like a traitor because everyone's just kicking him down, and it's going to bite them all up the rear when the person they keep mocking just ends up screwing them.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are waiting for like the Aesops to betray Team RWBY, but I don't think they're gonna betray them in that like stereotypical like "mwahaha, we are evil" kind of way.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be more like eventually Team RWBY will not be on Atlas's side, and they will be at odds with each other for that way, not because it's like "mwahaha, we work for Salem now," like that sort of a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I hope so.
Mm.
Because I have had people say like about Clover, and I don't want him to be the traitor, but like I've had people come up with plausible theories, and I'm just like,
If they mess with my bad luck charm ship,
I
I'm
know. Same.
going to kill someone. Literally, I will be so angry if Clover like turns around and is against them because it will kill my shipping dreams dead, and I will be so mad if that happens. Christ.
Yeah.
Listen, I think they're adorable, but I'm also like, I don't trust it though.
I don't trust it either,
Ruby.
but I want to trust it. I need my Game
Same.
Boy
That's
ship.
me. That's me. I want to, but I wouldn't be surprised if we are all betrayed and like.
I think it's Penny.
I mean, I
Ooh.
wouldn't honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. Like,
Yeah.
just because like you can't like resurrect a character in a show without there being consequences to the plot, and especially because the consequence wasn't that she doesn't remember them or anything. I'm like, the consequence is gonna be then like.
Yeah, there has to be
Worse.
something more than.
Terminator.
Yeah.
Oh god, never trust the robots.
You thought it was bad watching her die, Ruby? Now you have to kill her.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ. It's way
Jeez.
too early in the morning for me to think about these terrible things. No, I agree, but I just don't want to think about it. I'm like, I will cross that emotional bridge when I come to it.
Exactly.
But like for Clover and Crow, it's not even just about the ship for me. It's also about Crow that I'm like, I don't think he's in such a good place right now that I'm like, I don't think he could handle that kind of betrayal.
Plus, like, it's all about things looking on the up as well. Like, Crow stopping drinking, and now Crow could potentially find someone who can resonate with him, especially with the semblances. He needs that good look, so yeah.
He needs the balance.
Yeah.
I don't know about that with the opening there, Brandon. I think a lot of things in the opening are symbolic more than literal. So I don't know if what we saw with Ironwood in the intro is so literal as it is symbolic. But I definitely think we're going to see him fight this volume, for sure. But,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I hope so.
To what extent is the question. I don't think he would be the one to take Penny down.
Yeah.
Oh,
but,
no.
Yeah. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about anybody taking Penny down. We just finally got her back. It's been 4 years.
I know.
Let us have her for a while.
We are happy. Don't do this to us.
She's adorable and we're happy, and stop.
But yeah, like going off what you said about like Crow being in a good place right now, like even that line later in the episode where he's like, guys, lighten up
a little.
it's
and
like,
excuse you.
I'm like, hell has frozen over. Crow told these kids
You just
to
spent the
lighten
last
up.
3 volumes drinking yourself to death. Squeeze me. Jesus. Okay.
Oh, man.
Whatever, Crow. You are the last person to tell anybody to fucking lighten up.
Are you serious, bro?
See Exhibit A, Volume 6. All of it.
Exactly.
From Chapter 2 onwards.
Like literally that. I mean, at this point, we don't know how much time was between chapters 2 and 3, but like the events that happened at the house in Argus were probably like a week ago. And like,
That's it.
and he was all like, I don't want to rain on your guys' parade. And now they're like, and now he's all like, lighten up, kids.
Well, that's it, because like Team RWBY did complain about being tired. I don't think they've had a rest since I don't know, episode 10 or 9 of volume 6. I believe. So they've had to take down Caroline. They've had trouble with Grimm. All of that in one whole day. So yeah.
I think that it has been
Well,
a few days since chapter, what was the last one, 3? Because they had all those upgrades done on their weapons. That would have taken some time, and like, so it's probably been like a week maybe, at most.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, because Pietro needed time to do all that
yeah.
to their weapons. So and plus also it was like nighttime at the end of chapter 2 when Penny was showing him to the dorms. So they've at least gotten probably 2 nights sleep.
Hopefully, they needed it.
But it's still going to be pretty exhausting after all of the testing scenarios they've been placed in. whether they've faced them together or they've been separated, like Blake and Yang with Adam and the rest with Caroline. So yeah.
Yeah. And like as soon as they come out of the cave, Ruby's like, "Oh, let's go exploring," and Blake's like, "Yeah, no, let's go to bed." Like they're obviously tired, poor things. But like, yeah.
But poor Ruby, like, I mean, she's energetic, so yeah, bless her heart.
I also just felt bad for her because this was literally coming right off the conversation about how like you kids and your friends, kind of a thing, and then she's like, "Let's be friends," and they're like, "Let's take a nap," and she's like, "But what about friends?" Like,
pretty much how the conversation went in a nutshell. Yeah, no, I felt a little bad for Ruby there because she was like, "Oh, let's go exploring. We haven't done anything together in so long that wasn't, almost dying," and like, and she, just like their response is Weiss is like, "We just explored a whole continent and then we flew here." It's just like, "Bitch, I'm done."
I thought that comment was kind of weird though, because I was like, no, Ruby did. You guys, like, most of you flew to Haven, and then you took a train that crashed, and then you explored from the train crash to Argus, and that's it.
You forget that Weiss and Yang were in the bandit camp before they got to Haven, so they've at least done some traveling. They did teleport straight to Haven, but that's not the point. The point is Yang had to come all the way from Patch to Anima, and then Weiss. Where the fuck was Weiss? She was in Atlas, and she left Atlas. She flew to Anima. She crashed on Anima, and then she got kidnapped, and then she went to Haven. So she at least did 5% of the exploring. Not really exploring. She can't explore much from a freaking cave. Cave.
Yeah.
But I can't speak. Somebody else speak. It's early.
I thought seeing them all together for like the first time, though, obviously back in volume 5, and then like last season seeing them all sort of travel together, and then now this, I kind of get what Ruby means. Like, she wants them to just have some downtime and to sort of go out and see things. Yeah. But I think I'd be like that, but I get why everyone else is like, "No, Ruby, bed, please."
It's that case where you just see both sides, because as we've just pointed out, they're more than just people who defeat Grimm and whatnot. They are people who have a bond. So yeah, and as it was just pointed out, like with Ruby hearing what Harry has had to say about the Aesops, it kind of puts a bit of a dampener on her mood. So
yeah. And it's definitely they have been through a lot together, and they all have this burden that they share of Salem and knowing the entire truth. And there's not a lot of people that they share that with. So I think they just feel tired in general. I think it does make a difference that Ruby's 2 years younger than the rest of them. So the rest of them are like, we're old ladies who want to go to bed. And Ruby's like, no, let's go exploring and sightseeing. I think for Weiss, though, she's like, I fucking lived here my whole life. I don't need to go sightseeing.
Yeah.
Like,
I know this place like the back of my hand.
We know that Weiss enjoys like chaperoning people around for tours. We've seen it in volumes 1 and 2 before. So like, it's just something that she takes pleasure in, as being like, ooh, look at the cross-continental transit system. Look how amazing it is. Look how amazing Atlas is. Like, that's kind of just how she is. So I do want to see them go do something together that's not any of this at some point.
Well, that's kind of partially my theory for what the next episode is that they're gonna like partner up for some missions down in Mantle.
I want to see the missions. I want to see Jean chaperoning tiny children.
I bet that turns out to be like the most dangerous one out of all of them.
I am legit worried about that, especially if Tyrion is involved, because you have to remember Tyrion said, "I'm interested in you," so yeah, you do interest me. That's what he said way back in Volume 4.
Don't remind me about that. How fucking dare you? I was sitting here in my blissful ignorance forgetting Tyrion exists for a moment, and here you come and remind me.
I know I'm skipping
Bring
to
in
the
the
end,
chaos.
but that jump scare though.
I know. Scares shit out of me.
Oof.
Mm.
I could have climbed out the window. I would have done. Maybe a bit of an overreaction.
Tyrion's a creepy bitch, but we love him
Yeah,
for it.
exactly.
Definitely.
Creepy.
Tyrion's the kind of character that I keep forgetting about until he's on screen. And then I'm like, oh, Tyrion, hi. it's like every time I see him is the first time, I'm like, hello. You look creepy. I thought you did half the reaction from outside the window, Alex.
Holding on with my dear life. like a really angry lemur.
That face, though. Oh my god, please liken yourself to a lemur. That's amazing. Oh god. Alrighty. Yeah. What were we talking about?
Oh, one thing we completely skipped over is Nora going up to Elm and being like, "Do you need a new best friend?"
Thunder thighs.
Then Ren
Fucking
just having
Elm's
to take her away like
face.
thunder thighs.
Thunder thighs. And like Ren just lifts her up like she's a cardboard cutout. That's great. Love it. Elm's fucking face though, when she's looking at Nora, she's like, "What in the holy hell is this child?"
But I just love the.
Go ahead.
I was like, they continue like, even though the parallel between Nora and Elm is like startlingly obvious.
Yeah.
It's like I like that they are continuing to like parallel team, or well, all of the main cast to the Aesops.
Yeah.
With especially like with that moment later with Ren and Vine.
Yeah.
And Elm and Nora and Ruby and Harriet and Crow and Clover. And
Yeah.
My favorite.
Marrow's the one I'm less sure about. I'm like, who is he? Is he Blake or is he Jean?
I don't know. A bit of both.
I was gonna say I can see him I can see him and Jean's personality really meshing well. So yeah.
Even though he doesn't know his name. Juan.
Juan.
Jim. Close enough, I guess.
I love that.
I love the contrast between Nora and Elm though, because Nora is tiny and Elm is a large woman. she thick, and I'm here for it. But yeah, the contrast between the two is quite startling, even though they are very similar in a lot of ways. But yeah, just Elm's expression. Nora's like, thunder thighs. Yeah. Harriet's an interesting character because she seems friendly, but also kind of harsh.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't really figure you out.
Yeah.
She's still my favorite for one aspect.
Love her semblance. That's really cool. And
Yes.
the way that they
Yeah, her
animated it
semblance
was
is
incredible
cool.
as well.
Very cool.
I call her Harry Allen.
Harriet. She reminds me
She's
of
like the
Duracell
Green
Bunny.
Allen.
Whenever I say, all I can think of is the Duracell Bunny, and I'm like, that's completely what they
Oh
are
my God.
going for visually here. It's like an electronic bunny. It's a little on the nose, guys. but
Hey,
I
it
appreciate
makes sense now that Miles is voicing the Duracell bunny.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Didn't even think about that.
No, I didn't. Didn't either. Oh god.
That is some lazy product placement.
Oh god. The day they have product placement in RWBY, my god.
Oh, God.
How would they even work that into it?
The great one.
No, please no.
Oh,
Please no. Please no.
I mean, they did that in Ruby Chibi, so.
That's Chibi.
Yes.
Okay. Chibi gets away
Okay,
with a lot
but
of
still.
shit that Proper could never get away with.
but Chibi's canon. Everything is fine, as Nora said. Nothing bad ever happened.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me while I adjust things on the stream. Sorry.
Okay, well, I think that was basically all in that, like, with them talking to the Aesops.
Yeah.
So,
Because
Publishing.
then
well, we have before that we have Ironwood telling them about Forrest's murder and
Honestly,
the like political framings happening there.
Honestly, every time Ironwood speaks, I forget immediately that he's spoken. Like, I'm like, oh,
I
you're
like
here
Ironwood.
who are you against? Oh.
No, but like, I'm like, oh, and Ironwood's here. Oh, and he's gone. Okay, what next? like, I'm just so not interested in anything that he has to say. And I don't know why. I like his character. I think he's interesting. But like, every time he speaks, I'm like, you are so boring. You're boring me right now. Let's get to the interesting stuff. Because all he ever talks about is doom and gloom. And I'm like, oh, fucking go complain to somebody else. For once. I just don't have time for him.
But I just like that we like got confirmation, because after last episode, that's what I suspected when it showed Tyrion murdering Forrest. That I was like, oh, the bad guys are trying to like frame Atlas for like, you know, murdering, you know, people, opposition or whatever. And it's like, I'm glad that we kind of got confirmation that like that is true. And then like from the poster in the first episode that reporter who was killed was probably also killed by Tyrion, and because she spoke out against Atlas, and you know, whoever Tyrion was murderizing while he was talking to Watts in episode 2 was probably, you know, opposition as well. And
yeah,
so it's interesting to see like, ooh, that's what's happening. But like, how are they gonna handle that, especially because like he's sending the Aesops to investigate now, and it's like, ooh, that's a bad idea.
That's a terrible idea.
It's a really bad idea.
Yeah. You and Larissa and Tyson last week hit the nail on the head with your predictions for this episode, and I'm sitting here like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't make predictions no more because I'm always wrong. So
I know Larissa like fully called like everything about the second half of this episode. Larissa called, and I was watching the episode just like, how did Larissa do this?
Yeah, because she mentioned that she was thinking they would do the Huntsman license ceremony in Amity Arena, and that was exactly what happened. I was like, how the fuck did she know that?
Because I was suspecting that would be what the like celebration in the episode was that they'd be getting their license. But then I was like, but she got so much of it so right. I was like, Larissa, how?
I think we need to talk to Larissa about the lottery or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get the lotto numbers off her.
She sees all.
She's all-seeing and all-knowing. Like Jin. What the fuck were we talking about before I brought that up?
About the murder of that rebellion guy.
Yeah, Forrest. So Ruby is dead. Soz. Yeah, but Ruby's reaction when she finds out that Forrest died, she's like, he died? Like, I'm like, oh, honey, you knew him for 2 seconds. Like, don't mourn him too much.
You guys also looked very unimpressed with him.
Oh my god, Larissa cannot navigate to save her fucking life, but that's another. I love you, don't hate me. Girl, she can predict the future, but do you think she can find where she's going in her own backyard? No.
Wow.
She says the same thing. Okay, moving on. Boy.
Yeah, I also just liked his like quick throwaway line about don't take Marrow for the thing, because like even though I feel so bad for Marrow, because I'm like, everyone's picking on him, Ironwood included. But then like he's in the background there being like, oh, like, and it's like, we need subtlety, like, and Marrow's not very subtle.
I think it also has something to do with the fact that Marrow is a very obvious Faunus. So that
almost makes unwanted
attention.
But still, like, wouldn't it? There are a lot of Faunus in Mantle.
Yeah.
So, like, wouldn't he be honestly the best person to investigate it?
don't know, because like I feel like just
It
existing
I guess
as a
depends on how like
faunus-
well known the Aesops are.
just existing
Yeah.
as a fauna seems to just bring trouble. So,
Hmm.
if what chapter was it? Chapter 1? Chapter 2? Chapter what? I don't know. When was the
What
one that
event?
Weiss binned that guy?
Oh, the
It was
first
episode
one.
1.
Yeah, that was one. Sorry, yeah.
Fuck, was that 1? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are we on almost chapter 5? What the fuck? This is coming too fast. Chapter 5 is coming out this
Just got
weekend,
you
isn't
back,
it?
Ruby.
Yeah,
I
they,
believe so.
people have been teasing, the writers and stuff have been teasing. You're not
Yeah.
ready for this week's episode of
They
RWBY.
say that every fucking
I'm
week,
never
though.
ready.
They say
I
that
know.
every
Hey.
week. Like, the new female writer whose name I always forget. Kiersey. She last week was like, I'm so excited for chapter 4, you guys aren't ready. And then it was like, okay, that was a good chapter, but what were we ready for again?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it was them getting their license.
Yeah,
I think.
but
Yeah, I
mean,
think
yeah.
I think
most
that
of us
But
didn't
yeah.
see
I
that
think a lot of
coming.
people saw it coming.
It wasn't like Ruby stabs Yang. Betrayal.
Could you imagine? Stab!
That's some
I'm uncomfortable.
dishwasher 1910 art there.
That would be the most adorable, spontaneous stabbing you've ever seen.
Oh yes, that spontaneous stabbing, so adorable.
How
Oh, why do
cute.
I have that
No,
image
it will
in
be
my
like
head
food
of...
fight.
Why do I have an image in my head of Volume 3 of Ruby holding Penny's sword being like, leave her alone! I'm like, I don't want to remember that. Thank you very much. Well, she's right, I wasn't ready. I mean, I figured that, they couldn't just give them their licenses without making a big thing out of it, because it's a huge deal for them. And it's
Yeah.
like, this is what they've been working towards since the very beginning. And then, as they mention, it's like, it almost seems like it's almost pointless now.
It's on
a
the
formality.
Trivial.
file. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a formality at this point, because they have gone through so much and they have earned it, but they don't necessarily feel like they have, because they didn't go through the same process that everybody else goes through, and it's also a year early for them as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, they're 19 to 20 and Ruby's freaking 17 to 18, so I'm like, damn, that is young to get your huntsman license. Like, you're barely an adult. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's come
RWBY
very
would
early
only
for
be
them.
a second year at Beacon if she'd gone on time,
Mm.
and yet she's a huntress now. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's insane.
After everything they've done, they're basically huntresses. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
even like Ruby called herself a huntress last volume. She was like, "I'm a huntress," and where she spoke to fuckface on the radio. In 3 years short of formal education. Well, they're 2 years short.
Do we know if they're? I was gonna say,
They
do we
said
know if it's a
that-
4-year or a 3-year school?
It's
I thought it was
4-year.
only a
It's
3-year
4-year.
school. Is it 4?
Yeah, it's 4 year. Everything in Ruby in 4s.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be 17 to 21. But they're all just barely 20, except for Ruby, who's barely 18. So yeah, they're about a year, just a bit more than a year out from supposed to have been finished. So
Mhm.
but
Plus,
yeah,
also they've done a lot of other stuff
Yeah.
during this time. Like, they've more than earned their license.
Mhm,
Like, they're
Yeah.
they're up there with
I don't know.
Atlas's best. Like,
exactly.
Which is
yeah.
Yeah, which is of course why Ironwood decided, you know what, you guys, you're huntresses and huntsmen. I was annoyed with myself, BT dubs, just because I called them hunters. So I was like, I noticed that in the reaction. I was like, Liam, you dumb moron.
Liam,
Get
It's
your
been
shit together.
7 years.
I still mess up occasionally too, where because huntresses, like, it mean, makes sense. So sometimes I'm like,
Yeah.
hunters and huntresses, and I'm like, no, huntsmen.
Huntsmen and huntresses. I get so annoyed at Grim Eclipse because it says hunter instead of huntsman.
Hunter, yeah.
It fucking drives me insane. And they haven't fixed it. Please fix it. I feel like Volume 6 was basically their graduation. Yeah, essentially. I mean, this was like a graduation of sorts. But like, yeah, most people, they go through 4 years at an academy, do their final exam, roll out, get their license, and off they go. But these guys have been like, no, we're just gonna, take on literally the burden of the destruction of the entire world, and spend 3 years being apart and traveling across literally almost the entire world. And here's your license. And like, oh shit, like I forgot that I actually wanted this. Hunters is a better gender neutral term, but it isn't specific enough. Yeah. Thank you for the posts, guys. I forgot to mention too that you can tweet us at the Boopcast #Boopcast if you want to answer ask a question and have us answer it. Please, thank you, goodbye. So I derailed us again. What were we talking about?
I don't remember.
We were like talking. We were just on the comment about Ironwood and the forest dying, and then
the forest dying.
No, the
forest, the entire forest.
The entire forest.
It's all burning down.
Not forever, fall.
Yeah, the only thing with that at the very end of that Ironwood conversation that I noticed is that Ironwood, like, he was like leading into the Team RWBY and Junior. They could do a lot of good here.
Yes.
But I couldn't. I was like, but it was right after he was talking about like all the unrest in Mantle. So I was like, does he mean Mantle or does he mean Atlas? Because like I used to think of the two as very like combined thing, but the way they've been talking about them this volume, they're very separate things. So I'm like
two different
When he says here, I think he means here in general, Atlas and Mantle. Like there's a lot of good that they can do, which I agree. She's still awake, I see. Barely. No, still awake. I have been to bed. Just not for as long as I needed to be.
Yeah.
I will get home at 3 o'clock and collapse. And then go to 2 parties. Yay for me. Love that.
So
hi,
popular.
Tyson, by the way. I'm so popular. I have so many friends. Oh my god. I don't know what I am this morning. I'm sorry. It's been an hour. Fucking hell, we need to move this along.
Yeah. Well, I mean, then the next big thing that happens in the episode.
Papa, can you hear?
Is
I punched this wall in frustration as soon as he was like, "Oh no, this is an Atlas problem." I was like, "Please don't tell me
it's Drywall's fault, Liam."
It is your fault.
Oh no, as soon as like he was like, what? Oh no, let him land. I was like, oh, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. As soon as he said let him land, I was like, no.
Just shoot him out the goddamn sky.
I know. Literally, just shoot him out of the sky.
I just wish as soon as he rambled and all of that, as soon as he came out of ship, someone would have just yeeted him off Atlas.
Literally.
Yeah, we saw that Winter had that truck. She just rammed right into the thing. Big explosion. Yeah.
Winter is our hero forever.
Sorry, madam. I love her expression when she steps out of the truck, like she's glaring at the ship, like. And Lisa's like, "Oh, now you show up. Guess who was just here?" Yeah. And she's like, "I know, bitch. I was avoiding
father." She's like, "I wouldn't say I missed him."
I was planning
to see Winter just be like, he says something, Winter's just like, boom.
Please.
Straight in the nose.
We haven't seen Winter and Jacques interact yet. So, but like, I feel like Winter lives her life actively avoiding him. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what Weiss is trying to do, but inevitably failing, despite herself. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, Papa Schnees, still an asshole. Good to know.
Yep.
Nobody thought anything had changed there.
I did love Team RWBY just being there for Weiss, like. Blake holding her hand and just all of them just having her back. Like, even Blake and Yang were giving him death stares, basically.
Oh, yeah, they were. all of the like, even Ruby was like almost glaring at him, but she looked more sad than angry. Whereas Blake and Yang were like, "You're a cunt, and we don't like you."
No,
You are
get
not long
lost.
for this one.
Exactly.
I legit thought he was gonna go try and hit her again.
Yeah, I did as well.
And I was ready. I was ready for like someone to catch his arm, or even Weiss to like, catch his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that would have been cool.
I don't think he.
Yeah,
he would do that in front of present company.
No,
but given the opportunity,
No, I was scared though. Like as soon as he said, as soon as Weiss questioned about the kind of man he was, because it did bring me levels of like worry that he was going to lash out, and then Ironwood said, "You'll do what?" And then he brought his composure down and then talked about her mother.
Yeah, and he's an asshole for doing that, but you know, he's
exactly.
manipulative, and he's
Exactly.
I love that
Weiss her whole
Blake.
life.
Yeah, I like that Blake also instantly recognized what he was doing there.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, because Ruby
looked
and Yang
mad.
both looked, like, pissed off at him. But, like, Blake was like, I know it. Like, she had this,
her
like,
ears
knowing
went
look.
back
She's
and
like,
she
I
was
know what
like,
you're
"Oh,
doing.
you asshole, I'ma kill you." Like, she looked mad. Yeah, because of how Papa Schnee treats Faunus. Yeah, that too. But also, like, she could see him manipulating Weiss and her having
she's
been
been through
on
it
the
too.
end of a very manipulative relationship. She's like, "I'ma kill you." How dare
that was
you
it. Yeah,
treat
exactly.
my other monochromatic half this way? Like, I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, that's why I like that it was Blake that held her hand. Because even though I know a lot of people would have preferred if maybe Ruby had held her hand, but I like that in that moment it was Blake that did it because, like, Blake has been through this, and I'm sure what Blake did was she's like, when I was going through this, I would have loved someone to just hold my hand and be there.
Yeah,
so that's what she did for Weiss.
Yeah.
She empathizes. That's the thing. Yang and Ruby sympathize. They cannot empathize like Blake can. So,
Exactly.
that's it. Yeah.
You can tell by how his voice changed. Yeah, he's a cunt. God, I hate Papa Schnee. I hope he dies this volume.
Me too.
I don't
I hope
care who
Arthur
kills him at
him.
this point. Somebody off him, please. Somebody get rid of him.
Please.
I'm sick
Just
of
a
him.
train.
Done.
Just like a really bad car crash.
Please. I want, like,
I mean,
what's
I
to
do
stab him
feel.
or
Yeah, I was
something.
gonna say what's it. I do feel like is going to be his end.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
I mean, statistically, people who've worked for Salem who aren't like one of her inner crew, like once they outlive their usefulness, they're not around much longer.
Mm-hmm.
no.
But yeah, I loved the way Team RWBY stuck by her side there, and they didn't even say anything. They didn't need to. They let Weiss speak for herself, but they were there to sort of be like, "We are here if you need us, and we will destroy this guy if you need us to." So it's like, but yeah, I love the way that Blake held her hand, and like just in that scene, I was thinking about how much Weiss has grown as a person since the beginning of Volume 1. And like going from who she was then to who she is now, being like not even, one of the first things she says to Ruby is, by no means does this make us friends, and like she craps on in Volume 1 about how we are not friends and all this sort of stuff.
And
now she's
now
like, we're not friends, we're
family.
family. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like when she says not friends, Ruby looks at her kind of like worried for a second, and then she says family, and Ruby's like, oh, yay. I'd like Tyrion to off him. That would be good too.
Yeah.
I
Especially
love
because Tyrion likes to play with his food, so you know.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's get Cory on the writing team this season.
Yes.
Bit of it. Just like just for that bit, if nothing else.
I just love that little tidbit there.
Lionheart. We'll do it on screen.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, because we're gonna cheer like crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you guys saw my reaction when Adam died. I was fucking thrilled.
Same.
Yeah,
As
yeah, both of you. Classic.
Yeah. It's like because I was like, oh no, he's gonna fall into that, and then he hit he broke his back, and I was like, oh no, you ain't getting
He's
back up
fucking
from that.
You are not getting back from that one.
You don't get to swim with a broken spine. Like how it works. I love
the multiple
Ruby.
stab wounds through the lungs.
They learned from what happened in Volume 5 when Cinder fell and people speculated, oh, she might have hit water and all that. So when it came for Adam's time to bite the bullet, no resurrection this time.
Yeah, they made sure we were aware that he is very dead.
Yeah, well, I mean, but the thing is, though, with Cinder, like, almost everybody knew. Like, there were still people in the fandom who thought she was dead, but I was like, 99% of the people were like,
she was dead.
She's alive. And be
Yeah,
like, see you next volume. Like,
when I watched everybody's reactions to Volume 5, Chapter, what was it, 13?
13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, she went over, we were all like, bye, see you next volume. Like,
Yeah.
she'll be back.
Just won't die.
Yeah, just fucking cockroach. But yeah, Adam very dead, and I cheered like crazy. You guys know, you saw it.
Yes.
So...
Especially because the difference is that Adam had outlived his usefulness to the story, and Cinder hasn't.
Papa Schnee unfortunately hasn't yet either. So,
But I'm hoping his just desserts are just and delicious.
Yes.
She straight up fell into
Alex.
the next volume. She did. She skipped a couple of chapters. It took her that long to get down there. But yeah. Now all I can think of is the pun Cinder fell. Oh god, get your brain, get out of there.
Down.
Yeah, where are we? Volume 7, Chapter 4. Get your brain in there. What the fuck, Papa Schnee? Yeah. So yeah, I love the way that Weiss like stood up to him and she was like, I know exactly the kind of man that you are. And I was like, whoa. But yeah, his, reaction's typical. But the fact that Ironwood then said, what, Jock? What are you going to do to this grown woman who is now a licensed huntress, or about to be? What exactly are you going to do in front of me here? Hit her. I fucking dare you. It's almost like he's challenging him, be like, what are you going to do? Do it.
Definitely.
That's it. I saw his right arm raised just a little bit, and then slowly relaxes. And then he just relaxes emotions as well. With that,
he goes for the other kind of manipulative
spiel about her mother.
I really want to see her mother.
Same.
I do too.
Same. Oh,
I just feel like there's going to be so much. I don't know. I feel like it'll be a very adult moment in the series.
She's such
a
mystery at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the theories about, she could be the Winter Maiden. But I don't know.
I know. Chapter 2 kind of killed that theory.
Yeah, she's not in the best of conditions.
Yeah, Winter Maiden's an old lady. I don't think Willow's that old. So, Jacques' justice would be swift, painful, and delicious. Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of almost didn't understand the point of Jacques being there, because, like, what was his plan in going there? Like, because all he wants evidence to put, like, he wants Ironwood out of power. Like, he wants the embargo to end. So what was his point in going there? Was it to threaten Ironwood?
Yeah, I'm guessing it's to elevate the pressure as well, because in the previous scene before that, there was this talk about this does not look good for you. These people dying, it's not a good look, and so we've got a raised pressure with the most manipulative asshole currently showing up and saying, yeah, you're on thin ice, basically. So,
yeah, I think Ironwood is aware of how ice is how thin the ice he's standing on is, not how ice the thin he's standing on is. Christ, I need to sleep. Will they call her Mother Willow? I think they will call her Willow Schnee at this point, because that's just what we've been calling her for literally years. So it would be weird if she had a different name, but Ice the Thin noise. Shut the fuck up, Wade. It's 7:11 a.m. Okay. Fuck off.
Get a Slurpee.
Do we think he can even fight? Who? Papa Schnee? Or
he's
not
he's a bitch.
I know.
No, he's a bit.
No,
No,
he
because,
shit
like,
himself when
everything-
Potts came in.
definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially
'cause
because of like
because,
Whitley's
like-
attitude towards huntsmen and huntresses.
Mhm.
I'm like, where do you think he got that from? He didn't pull that out of thin air.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he
Or
definitely can't.
does-
He's a pussy.
Yeah. I mean, but wonder if Willow. Well, I don't know if Willow would either, because
No.
I feel like if Willow could fight, she would have maybe stood up to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like if she could fight,
Jacques
she wouldn't
by
put
now.
up with that shit from him. Shut the fuck up, Choso. I have a feeling after seeing her mum, it will be Jacques trying to hold her over Weiss's head. See, this is the thing that pisses me off about him using Willow to manipulate Weiss, is that he doesn't give a shit about Willow. He doesn't give a flying fuck about her.
He
So-
only
and-
cares about himself. That's the
Yeah.
that's the thing.
And he knows that Weiss cares about her. So he's using her against Weiss, even though he doesn't give a flying shit if she leaves her room or not. Like,
Mhm.
He wants that authority over everyone. And which is why I guess it's perfect for him to be in the running to replace James. He wants that authority over Weiss, over Willow,
He's a
over
control.
everyone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, all of the Schnees...
Classic
technically-
manipulator.
All of the Schnees technically could use glyphs, but I don't necessarily think all of them have this.
Yeah, it's a matter of training.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
matter of training it and unlocking that and unlocking their aura. So I don't think Willow would be able to. Papa Schnee can't because he's not in the actual bloodline. So
Yeah.
Whitley could if he had a reason to. I feel like Weiss could beat the hell out of him, but she doesn't. She doesn't because he's her father, but she also doesn't
Exactly.
because she feels... I think she still feels a bit powerless when it comes to her dad. So
I think it's amazing how mental abuse can make someone who is probably, you're probably tougher than, you're probably stronger than, you could probably beat in a fight, but how it makes you see them as such a threat that you feel like you couldn't do it, so you don't do it. Do you know what
it
I
makes you
mean?
feel
Yeah,
small.
yeah,
And
that's-
like that's what
yeah.
like
That's really
talks about.
perfectly
She's
put.
like, Adam used to get in my head and make me feel small, and that's just
Yeah.
what emotionally manipulative people do and abusive people.
Exactly.
They make you
Yeah.
feel
And
like
that's-
you're not strong enough to stand against them. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, or even that, like, if you are stronger, they will sometimes make it feel like, that it's all your fault kind of a thing, or like,
Yeah.
like a classic one is like, if you leave me, I'll kill myself kind of a thing. Like,
That's
I'm
it.
so weak. How could you pick on me? Like, sort of a thing.
Mm.
So it is just that classic manipulation of either way they end up feeling powerless, whether they could fight them or not. It's about the control the manipulator has over the other parties involved.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. On that note, moving on. But yeah, I love Winter showing up and yeah, Weiss being like, "Oh, nice of you to drop in, bitch. Thank you for leaving me with him on my own." Like, I feel like that's also almost like her tone here, where she's like, "Oh, now you're here. Thanks for that. Great, love that. Awesome."
And then Penny just annihilates Team Ruby.
Literally drops
Penny
in.
is so freaking adorable. I can't, with her like dress and her whole design. And she's like, "Did we not start yet?"
Yeah,
So
that
I also
that
just
did
love-
shook me.
It only was for like 2 frames of that thing, but when she first hits the ground, all of Team Ruby does like a different like
the smear frame
reaction
The
pose,
smear frame
and
hilarious.
Blake's doing the like scared cat thing with the like arched
Oh, I think I
back,
saw that on
I
Twitter.
just love
and
the idea.
Yang's like an upside down X, and
I
Blake's
just
is
love
doing
the
that pose
idea.
like she was falling out of the sky in volume 1. Like I was
One
like,
of the
ooh, little
animators
reference.
had to painstakingly animate those 2 frames. I love the idea of somebody being like, "And let's turn Yang upside down," and like,
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's so
That
good.
is.
And it's so quick you can't even see it in real time. You have to freeze frame it or you can't see
Yeah,
it.
I'm going to do that like
Yeah.
right after this because yeah.
I'm so glad that the Rich Teeth player lets you play videos at half speed, because it's so
Yeah.
much easier to see little details that way.
Mhm.
And not just that though, but like yeah, exactly that. If you're doing a recap, if you're going frame by frame, you could pick out. You could just analyze the entire, like every single pixel, I guess,
Yeah.
and see things that are hidden. So
Mm. Chozo just pointed out there's a great BY selfie meme with Blake doing the scared cat
Yes.
pose to a cucumber. I have not seen this and I need to see this. I'm gonna look it up later.
Oh my god.
The little like bouncing that Penny does where Winter's like, okay, you can stop now. That's so cute. She's like literally
No, she's like,
bouncing with
contain
excitement.
it.
Yes, stop.
I just also loved the sound design on that moment too, where it was like bigger, like eek eek eek, and then when she's doing it smaller, it's eek 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 eek, eek like kind of a thing. I was like, that's so cute.
Yes.
It's adorable.
It really is.
Yeah,
It's so good.
The whole like the whole scene of them getting their licenses, I'm like, Penny's so freaking adorable. Look at her.
Yeah.
She's so excited. She can't wait. But
And then I also
Yeah.
loved when Ironwood's like, like indicates that it's Penny's turn. Penny's like,
Yeah.
like,
Well,
I don't
that's all
care.
the
This is
comeback
a
that happened.
formality.
Did anybody else notice too when Winter says you are being granted your huntsman licenses today? Did anybody else think of way back in Volume 1, Glinda's line where she's like, each of you will be given teammates today? I'm like, that sounds identical to that line. And
Oh, that's
I'm
pretty
wondering
cool.
if that was
Yeah.
deliberate or not. Because it feels deliberate, but I think it might have been a happy accident. That I'm like,
Maybe it's like, I was going to say, maybe it's like, it might be the case, because I'm not sure if this was deliberate, but when Clover said, lucky me, and now that was
Lucky you
the same,
was
well, lucky you,
deliberate.
should I say,
That
yeah.
was 1,000% deliberate, and I'll be mad if it wasn't. That was deliberate for sure. But
I think there's a chance it could be a happy accident just because of because it's such an easy joke to pull with
Yeah,
Crow.
it is,
That
isn't
it could just be an accidental,
Definitely.
we pulled the same joke twice, but but maybe in a way that's but both people were trying to kind of flirt with him a little bit, and it
let
just
me
that was
believe
the
it was
easy joke.
deliberate. Okay.
Yeah. I have to believe. I have to believe the ship.
Oh, thank you, Shozo. I'll have a look. New Mummy Barracks, River 7 spoilers. That's great. I love that. Just in the place. That's hilarious. Yeah, but that line, as soon as I heard Winter say that, it gave me flashbacks to Glinda in Volume 1. I was like, oh, that's weird. I don't know if that was deliberate, but it's also such an interesting line to sort of mirror, because that was literally the day that they were starting at Beacon, and now here they are getting their licenses, and she's mirroring Glinda there. I'm like, oh, that's so weird. It was really interesting just detail that I pointed out. Not sure if deliberate detail or not, but and
No. One thing that I noticed is that when they actually got their license, because you really only see it on Ren Scroll, but it changed from student license, and it talked about being issued from Beacon and blah blah blah, and then it changed to Huntsman licenses, and it was issued from Atlas and stuff. But at the bottom of both, it said restrictions classic, and that didn't change between the student or the normal license. And I'm like, what does that mean? I was thinking there would be a difference in restrictions for students versus Huntsman, but they both say classic.
Interesting.
I don't know.
I know, just nothing that they ever put in as a detail is ever meaningless.
Minor.
So I'm like, wait, why is it the same? That was specifically the one part of it I was looking at, because I was like, ooh, restrictions, because they got arrested for being unlicensed huntsmen, even though I guess they were they had student licenses, but now they got their huntsman licenses, but the restriction section didn't change. I don't know. Weird detail I noticed where I was like, why didn't it change?
I don't know. Don't ask me.
Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. Lost my train of thought completely. Cory, speak.
Okay, I was like, well, while you figure that out, another thing I saw people talking about this on Twitter is that the start of the scene starts with Ironwood saying that Amity Coliseum has significance to all of us, and I'm so upset that they didn't give Penny the option to be I died here. I wanted Penny to, that would be so funny.
That would have killed the mood pretty quick smart.
Everyone wanted to be
no.
Oh, this is a celebratorious moment. I died here!
And be like, yes, Penny, we know, Penny.
Good
It was
lord.
very traumatizing, Penny.
I think it was.
Please continue to bring it up while we eat this cake.
I think it was
Yes.
enough that, like, when Ironwood was saying this arena bears significance for all of us, that the shot then moved to Penny, and Penny's like, hee! Like,
Yeah.
almost like her face is saying, I died here.
Mhm.
Does Penny know that? Know what? That she died there? Yes, I'm sure she knows.
Yeah.
Nothing bad happened. Ever.
Ever.
Terrible, terrible things happened in that arena. Terrible things. I think of where they started and where they are now. Yeah. Salutations,
say-
grave. Oh god.
Oh my god!
Whoa!
Move
She's-
on!
Whoa!
Okay, first of all, she's a robot. She doesn't have a grave. Secondly, she's not dead. Stop.
Yet.
Oh,
Shut your mouth,
wow.
Corey.
Listen, I don't trust anything. They've made me so cynical. RWBY has made me so
Volume
cynical.
3 has
I'm
made
like,
us all so
good things are
paranoid.
happening.
Ever since Volume 3, we've all been so paranoid. Like, every time there's even a hint of trouble for anyone, we're like, they're dead. They're going to die. Horrible things are going to happen to them. And then it never does. Like, it never does.
I was saying that to Sydney the other day, where I was like, volumes 4 through 6, like every episode, I was like, Crow's dead. Crow's dead. He's gonna die. He's dead this volume. He's dead. And this is the first volume where I'm like, maybe Crow's not gonna die.
Oh, shit.
And then
And I'm like, oh no.
No, we can't
And then
let
I
our
had that
guards
thought, and I
down
was
ever.
like,
that's what
because
they
the
want you
moment
to
we get,
think.
the moment we get
Exactly.
too comfortable and too complacent, and we're like, okay, Volume 3 is done and over. That's when the shit will hit the fan again, and we won't be prepared for it. I'm still waiting for Volume 7 to end very badly. So I'm like, I'm prepared for it. I'm waiting for it. It's gonna happen. Where is the shit storm? It's coming.
I will be very surprised if Volume 7 ends on a happy note. So yeah, I'm just expecting to be hurt.
Especially because in the post-credit scene for last volume, they showed us Salem making all of those flying monkeys, and I'm like, well, fuck, this is coming to Atlas at some
Fine,
point.
I'll do it
I'm just
myself.
like, that's in the back of my mind that I'm like, I've got to be prepared for that because it is coming. So like.
Plus, also, I'm just like that scene in the opening of Mantle on Fire, and I'm like, ugh. That doesn't bode well for the end of this volume.
I think the entire Aesop's dies at the end.
Yikes.
Rude.
I hope not.
Why?
Why?
Why, Danny?
Why, Danny?
I like them. I know it's dangerous to like people on this show, but I like them.
That is such a mood.
I know.
It's dangerous to like people on this show. Well, the ones we like get killed or be bad.
It's so true, though.
Oh my god. I have
So
a theory
true.
that Clover is
It
working
is.
with Salem or Watts. No,
No, wait.
I don't think so.
I don't want to believe it.
I don't
but-
think so. I think that his loyalties lie with Ironwood, and that could therein be the problem in the end.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Other shoe. I'm waiting
I
for
do-
the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, like I said earlier, I think that the betrayal will come in that RWBY and it will be Team RWBY and Ironwood not seeing eye to eye anymore, and that's where the like betrayal will come.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Other
definitely.
shoe. Mm-hmm. Well,
Because
Ironwood is
wasn't
going
it said
to
it-
find out about Salem one way or another.
He will.
Yeah.
He will. Maybe
I actually,
oh,
you probably
yeah.
didn't see this. Oh, yeah, wow. You probably didn't see this on Twitter, though, Kaylee, but Arnold posted that he had a theory that maybe Ironwood's semblance is that he can detect lies. And I was like,
Oh,
Oh shit.
please no.
that would be
Please
something.
no. Because, like, if he knows
That would
that they're bullshitting him, he's being very coy about it.
Tremendous insight.
I was like, that would explain why the end of his speech was so awkward, though, as if he was like, he could sense that, like, you know, like his semblance was telling him that, like, they're hiding something or whatever, that it's like, ugh.
Especially after that awkward comment, I'm glad I can trust every one of you.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brandon, I think Volume 7 will end on a dark note and then set up for Volume 8 being like, everything is shit now. Like, everything's
Yeah.
gonna,
And we have to
you know,
and-
it's
yeah.
not gonna be good from here. Volume 7 finale, Crow's semblance causes Clover's death. Honestly, if Crow's semblance got Clover killed, I feel like Crow would yeet himself off of Atlas. Like, that would be it. He'd be done.
Yeah.
If he gets...
There's only so much darkness you can give to one character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let Crow be happy, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want him to be happy with his good luck boyfriend. And just leave them alone. Leave them alone, please.
I read a great comment in one of my comment sections, and it said, Crow went from being shipped by everyone with Winter to, in 2 episodes, being the head of the Gay Boy Alliance, and I love it.
I saw that.
Loved it.
Yes. I stand.
Well, I watched Unicorn of War's analysis review. I don't remember how he titles it, but this thing for chapter 3, and he was talking about Clover and Crow in it, and he said in there is like, if Clover was a woman, I would ship them just as much. Like, it's not about the fact that it's the same sex relationship is the reason people ship it. It's because of the semblances, and it's their connection and stuff. And I'm like, exactly. Like, I've been waiting ever since we found out his semblance was bad luck. I'm like, when is he going to find someone with good luck so he can be happy? Like,
opposites.
I've been waiting for that.
There's a saying called opposites attract. So,
but like, also, I'm living for the fact that there is finally male LGBT representation in the main cast.
Yeah.
Like, we have not had that. We've only had same-sex female relationships that have been represented on screen, except for that one shot in Volume 5 where there was those 2 guys with that, like, love heart bamboo plant. I'm like, that is literally the extent of the male LGBT representation in the show.
Yeah.
And that and Scarlet, but that doesn't count.
But Scarlet doesn't count because that was confirmed elsewhere.
It doesn't count. But
no.
I'm like, I'm living for
and I think also in anime in general, you don't have you barely have female, but you don't have male.
And
like,
in traditional anime, the female relationships tend to be very sexualized as well.
Yes.
Rather than just, genuine LGBT representation.
Target audience, man.
Exactly.
Japan.
That's
it's
it.
Scary.
Yeah. And that's the thing that confuses, like, RWBY as a show. Like, I feel like they would do the same-sex male relationship because RWBY's target audience is more women, like, even though they also have a lot of LGBT viewers, but like, I feel like more straight women watch the show than straight men probably, even though, I mean, obviously there are tons, like, but still, it's like, I don't think that this isn't really a show where it's like, typical anime is usually their target audience is, cis straight men, like.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we'll put in like that one character that ladies can like.
Yeah, that's how I feel about most anime. But seeing the genuine male LGBT rep and like the fact that it is one of the main cast, Crow, the fact that he's older as well, and I'm like, give the adults some love. Like, they need love too.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just for the teenagers. I love that they're sort of giving Crow that option, and then also the dynamic between the two and the contrast between the two of them. And there was another reason that I've completely forgotten. I just want Crow to be happy, man. He's so miserable all the time.
Give him a break. Give Crow a break.
He's been miserable for his whole life. Please give him a break. I just want him to be happy. That's all I care about. I'm living for the dynamic in the relationship between the two of them. And I hope that they don't turn it around on us, because I'll be really mad if that happens. Give Crow a break 2020, exactly. Like, Crow be happy. Yeah.
Exactly.
There are quite a few great animes that have with LGBT characters in them. Where? Show them to me, because I don't believe they exist.
I kind of trust Kelly. She's an anime expert.
I was listening to a podcast the other day. I know I'm going a little bit off topic. Sorry. About, it was a Smosh podcast, and Damien Haas, who watches a lot of anime, he was talking about how there was an anime where two male soldiers were in love. But at the end, it turned out, and he was like really impressed by it all. He was like really like, wow, this is so kind of groundbreaking for this. At the end, it turned out she was a woman, and they kissed, and he was like, what? Like, he's straight, but he really wanted to see this happen in like anime.
Oh, that's a bit of a yikes.
Yeah, that's so
is...
anime though. Is the like the gender bent lady, and then it's like, this guy falls in love with this other man, but oh, thank God, it's actually a lady. Like, Mulan all over again.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, why are we the same fucking person? What's an amine, Brie?
Yeah, what's
Sorry, I always
reanime.
Oh God.
Amine.
What's an amine? Amine. Yeah, I can't die. Give an emblem to you are worth checking out. Sure, I'll look them up later. But yeah, just I like that RWBY sort of buys into some of the anime tropes and then kicks back against a lot of them as well. Being like, no, we're not going to be that anime because everybody's seen that anime. That's every other anime. Also, we're not an anime technically, so.
Well, that was like also one thing Monty was really like, like RWBY, the girls all wore skirts, or at least RWBY and Weiss wore skirts in the first 3 volumes, and like they were designed in a way that's like no upskirts. Like even if there were points where the camera was like ended up lower than their waist and stuff, like it was designed in a way where there's no upskirts, like because he didn't want to be, that kind of like, gross anime thing.
Yeah, because it's such a thing in anime of like, it almost feels like sometimes they put the camera low just for the sake of looking up somebody's skirt, and I'm like, why are you so perverted? Like, can you not? Like,
yeah, I literally think of like Sword Art Online. There's one time where like Kirito's having an emotional conversation with a girl, and Kirito's talking, and the camera is just like 60% her ass with him on the side, and I'm just like, why? Like, this is an emotional moment, but you have to be like...
Boy, that is a terrible example. That anime is a disaster.
I mean, true. Listen, when I think about terrible anime tropes, my brain immediately goes to Sword Art Online.
Good lord, does it suffer from them. Yes, why I stopped watching it. But yeah, I'm like, if I want to see ass, I'll go watch hentai. Thank you very much. Like, I'm not here for this right now. Okay, I'm watching Attack on Titan for the fucking story, not for tits, not for ass. Nothing. Right? Get that off my screen. I don't need it in here. I mean, it's nice, but in controlled doses. There's a very clear shot with Nora when she's on the airship with Ren. They didn't animate anything under the skirts, or just white. Yeah, they had like in previous volumes they just did like the skirt sort of had like a block under it that ended mid-thigh. But now they've all got booty shorts on, which I love. I'm like, yes, living for the booty shorts, because now we get upskirts, but like, because now it's more realistic. Because like, before with the blocking, it looked like Weiss was wearing a diaper for 3 volumes under her dress, and it really bothered me. I was like, this looks awful in like practice. I'm like, I understand why, but it looks terrible. So now that like she's got a much longer skirt, so there's no real danger of that. But RWBY and Nora having booty shorts is awesome, and it's practical. They're freaking huntresses. Like, they're not going to walk around with their undies hanging out, Get some booty shorts in there. It makes sense. Also, it looks super cute. So, like, and I derailed this again. You're welcome. Preach. Thank you.
Literally, all this podcast is like a little bit of RWBY derailment. Like,
yes.
Everybody knows what Cory's talking about in SAO. That anime is a goddamn train wreck. My goodness me.
It's such a good concept, too. That's why I'm so annoyed by it. I was like, it's such a good concept.
A good concept.
And yet, it's just ruined by anime tropes.
It's ruined by anime tropes. It's ruined by the writers. And it's ruined by the director, unfortunately.
I've never seen it.
No.
I mean, it's
and
good.
Now I never will.
It's the first half of the first season is the best, and it's downhill from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's because you can tell that that first half was designed like it was like the story they wanted to tell, and then they were like, "Oh shit, we get more
we have to
time."
make more. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Let's throw some dungeon rape in there because why not? Fucking idiots.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's that bad.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's very wonderful. Anyway.
And what's that show called?
Sword Art Online. Oh god, completely disagree. First part of the first season is the worst. No, Wade, are you forgetting about the dungeon rape? Like, no, it gets worse from there. SEO does have one of the greatest villain dub performances ever with Oberon dub voice. I don't remember who that character is. I've blocked out most of SAO, to be honest. But
Best.
yeah, no, I really loved the Ironclad arc, and like the concept, like Cory said, was so interesting. But anyway, that's off topic completely. Let's move on from that.
Yeah.
Because we
Yeah.
don't have
Different anime.
Different anime. Oh, Oberon. Oh, yeah, fuck that guy.
Oh. Yeah.
Ah.
What a cunt.
I
Dungeon
love
Raid
you guys.
Master. FYI.
Oh, good lord.
Fun.
Yeah, very fun.
Not really fun,
Ew.
Liam. No, really not fun.
Really not fun
The
for
opposite.
anybody, especially not the viewer. Very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, that's a recurring thing in Sword Art Online, unfortunately, and it's why I did not watch beyond season 2.
Glad I was checking that out.
No, maybe not. But back on topic, what haven't we discussed yet? Oh my god, I just saw the most adorable art on Twitter. I'm so sorry. I am putting that in the Discord.
I was gonna bring up
God.
that during the scene where they're getting their licenses,
Ah.
Sorry, Joseph's been
Ironwood.
spamming memes in the chat. In the fucking Discord chat.
Oh.
The selfie memes.
Have you not seen it? Like, I was looking through these. I've seen most of these already.
I've seen the Weiss one, but I haven't seen the rest. That's amazing.
The selfie meme is honestly the greatest thing to come out of RWBY.
It is
Like, it's
my
literally the reason why I'm like, I'm not really gonna make like a super concerted effort anymore to keep my Twitter spoiler free for non-first members because I'm like,
tried
this
so
is great.
hard.
This is great.
I've
Yeah,
tried so
I'm-
hard
I-
until this week when the selfie memes started coming out, and I'm like.
Yeah, yeah.
They're so
That's
good.
that was me with Harriet because like I was like I gotta do the my name's Harry Allen or whatever and I'm the fastest woman alive. I had to do that.
Mhm.
So yeah.
It's so difficult to keep it spoiler free, especially because now I'm not doing reactions anymore. I'm like, I don't care anymore. Let's just all the spoilers. I don't give a fuck.
Plus, also
Spoilers, get
the
off
official
Twitter.
RWBY account is giving spoilers left, right, and center anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
don't care about like liking their tweets because I'm like, well, if they're tweeting it, I'm gonna like it because
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think they should really be doing that. But a lot of the spoilers are like, I'm like, that's not a huge spoiler. That's okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's a minor thing. It's alright. And if you're a reactor, you will have already seen the episode, so who cares? Because it's like,
Yeah.
by that point. And everyone who's not a reactor, I don't care. Sorry. If you get spoiled, that's your own fault. Watch the episode. I do not watch RWBY anymore, so give all the spoilers. Well, you've come to the right place.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I mean,
One-
true.
one
That's
on-
Wade. I was
You
gonna
want-
say
you
Wade
don't wanna
says
be
that
spoiled, get first. Yeah, essentially.
that's exactly what they're doing. They're like, if you don't want to be spoiled, pay for it.
That's- Yeah.
Even
Which,
if
I
you
mean,
just have first for
have a
RWBY
great
season,
first.
which a lot of people do, and which is
Mhm.
what I'm thinking about doing now because they've bloody jacked the price up, haven't they? So I'm like, I'm probably just going to ditch my first membership when RWBY ends.
Oh,
because
straight
I
up, me too.
literally don't watch any other Rooster Teeth content anymore, really.
I just watch it on YouTube if I watch it. The only thing I would probably jump back on for was Genlock, but I don't know how I feel about it. So
Yeah, with
I
the
usually
whole
give it a few
90-day
days,
wait.
Tozo.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I give it a few days before I post anything spoilerish or like anything spoilerish. But I have to so many times I like something, I'm like, oh shit, that's a major spoiler. Unlike, quickly, take it off.
Mhm.
Because I don't want to spoil huge things for people. I really hate it when people see the episode and immediately take to social media and are like, so-and-so dies. Here's a picture of them dying. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that a
Sort
lot.
your life
Mhm.
out. Alex!
I don't really. I
No,
don't.
you don't. I follow you. I know you don't.
Yeah,
Can't
there are
believe
just certain
White Sky.
people who I see who I'm like, ooh, especially because like I watch the episode as soon as it comes out, and so then like I'm on Twitter half hour, 45 minutes after the episode's out, and I'm like looking at Twitter, and I'm like, oh my god, already people, like please.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, Wade, I'm like, I had a grandfather first account since I was 15, and since then I've been paying $10 every 6 months, and they ditched those grandfather accounts recently, so now I have to pay the same as everyone else. So now I'm like, and I'm done after RWBY. Like, I'm not paying $6 like or whatever it is a month. They're like, no, fuck off, not doing that. But that's like 7 times as much as what I was paying before. So I'm like, nah. It's not worth it for me anymore.
Nah.
Yeah, it's not.
Nah. But like, I wanted to be spoiled because I want to be pre-warned of any upcoming tragedy, but Twitter does that within 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people seem to be tagging their spoilers. A lot of people don't.
Yeah, as I say,
Yeah.
I've seen a lot more people being better about it this year, but then I still see stuff where I'm like, especially because like the thing I try to do when I like things is make sure that the person has tagged it RWBY 7 or RWBY 7 spoilers or something like that, and I go, and I'm like, okay, this is a huge spoiler, and this person hasn't put even hashtag RWBY in here, like.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
like, I've taken to doing now when I see people on Twitter tweeting spoilers without the hashtags, I reply to them with the hashtags because I'm like, you should be fucking using
You
these.
dropped this.
It
You
does-
dropped this,
You
buddy.
dropped these. Here, let me pick them up for you, fucking asshole. But like, it takes 2 extra seconds to use the goddamn hashtags. Just use them. Why are you that lazy that you don't want to use them? And some people also just get pleasure out of spoiling shit for everyone else. Fuck those people. They're assholes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like-
if it's just laziness or ignorance, don't do that. Use the fucking hashtags. They're there for a
Like,
reason.
I was gonna say to that bit about people just spoiling for pleasure. I know this is completely away from RWBY, but I had someone comment on my Titans reaction because I was doing 1 episode a week, and they were saying I was slacking, and they're like, oh, we're about to see this happen, and you're still catching up to this part, and I'm like, yeah, because I don't want to freaking burn myself out.
Yeah. You can't just, we're not machines. We can't just film a bunch of shit and then push it out. Like, fuck that.
Wait, we are? Reactors are bots.
Yeah. Reactors are not robots. Shocking, I know.
I am a reactor.
I never get when people like are trying to like figure out where you are, and they're like, "Have you seen this yet?" And it's like, "No,
No,
I
thank
haven't."
you. I haven't.
Like,
But cheers for spoiling
it's like
that.
you could just say, "Where are you up to?" Or like there are ways to ask where you are in the show without being like, "Oh, have you seen this major character death yet?"
I mean, if
Yeah.
you're talking about Attack on Titan, that's every episode. So, like, every episode.
Can
somebody
confirm
dies.
I'm currently watching.
Where are you up to, Liam?
I just watched what was it? Episode 16, I think it was,
They all
yesterday.
die in episode 17.
Episode. Yes.
I'm joking. Do spoilers affect
I wouldn't
you
be
guys
surprised.
for series outside of reactions? For myself, if I'm spoiled, it doesn't affect me. I still enjoy the content. Depends on the spoiler.
Depends on the spoiler, yeah.
I was making my way through the Marvel series for the first time when Infinity War, the snap got spoiled for me. The entire thing. Like, literally everybody who went got spoiled for me on Twitter. And I was like, well, there's no point in me watching that film now. And I still haven't seen it to this day. I've seen every other Marvel movie except for that one. And Black Panther.
You've seen Endgame, haven't you? But not Infinity
I
War.
went to the cinema to watch Endgame, having not seen Infinity War. So, because I was like, there's no point in me watching this. I know what happens. The only parts of Infinity War I did watch were the parts with Spider-Man in them.
You love
Because
it.
he's the
Batman.
only one I care about. But
Batman.
I watched enough of Infinity War to go into Endgame with full context. So I was like, that was lucky. Yeah, I still haven't seen it to this day because I'm like, that's pointless. I know exactly what's going to happen, so there's no point in me watching that. And so it does depend on the spoiler. Yeah, that's the worst. Exactly. It's like, and you know, I understand why it was spoiled for me, because at the time I wasn't into the series and it was all over Twitter.
Yeah.
But there was one thing very specifically that spoiled Spider-Man's death for me. Spoilers if you haven't seen it.
Oh, because
You've seen it by now. It's been a while.
it's been so long.
It's been a year.
I don't feel so good. And the
It
thing
still
that
hurts.
it was that somebody I know on Twitter, who I will not name, and they know who they are, replied to a tweet that I made that was completely irrelevant to Marvel at the time, with Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. And I was like, well, I know exactly who that is. There's one character in the whole cinematic universe that calls Tony Mr. Stark, and it's Peter. Thank you very much. And they were like, oh, that's not a spoiler. I didn't say who it was. I'm like, yes, you did. Indirectly. Say
People
who
are,
it was.
like, this is the thing. Like, this is the thing with like, especially now that I'm going through Buffy, because there's people who do warn people, try to be subtle, but they're not, you know, clever enough to make it as subtle as possible.
They're about as subtle
like,
as
they
a
will-
brick
they-
fucking wall.
They will like make these subtle comments, but you basically know what happens because we're not completely oblivious. We know the shtick, so yeah.
And yeah, I have heard Infinity War is really good, but now that I've seen Endgame, I feel like Infinity War is going to kind of pale in comparison when I watch it. I will watch it, but I've seen all the parts that I care about, which is Spider-Man. So he's the
about
only
Scarlet
one I'm in
Witch?
it for at this point, because Iron Man's gone, Captain America's gone. I'm like, who the fuck is left? And there's
Was that
Spider-Man,
Alex?
and that's it.
She's
Oh,
left.
God,
the best
no.
character. Oh shit! Okay. Oh. Anyway, Cory, Ruby.
Ruby, yes, let's talk about Ruby. We're off topic completely. We're talking about Avengers. Good lord.
That was beautiful.
Morning, Jace, but that was absolutely fucking perfect. Amazing. Thank you, Wade, for the clip.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, thanks, Wade.
Wade, I love you.
All right, we gotta wrap this up because we haven't got much
Yeah.
longer.
I only got
the
15
DC
minutes.
comic chapter. Oh, we're not going to talk about the comics.
I-
We don't have time for
I-
that today.
I haven't watched it or read it yet.
We'll talk about it next week.
I was gonna bring up that when Ironwood was at the very end of their getting their licenses, he said, "Brothers know you deserve it," and I'm like, oh, that's an interesting way for them to not say like God knows you deserve it or gods know, because I know that in early seasons I think they said gods, but now they're like brothers, so it's like continuing to establish that like people I guess kind of know about the Brothers Grimm kind of a thing and everything with that, and I'm like, interesting. I like that little touch.
I didn't even pick that up, so there you go.
It's an interesting kind of basis.
Once again, as soon as Ironwood speaks, I forget what he said. I'm just not listening to him ever. I don't know why. Okay, he just bores me, I think. But when he speaks, I like his character, but he bores me. I'm sorry, Ironwood. People aren't super religious these days, yeah. Most of them people created, yeah. A lot of gods, that is, yeah. Yeah, I think they've lost sort of traditional religion over the years of the two brothers.
I mean, if you're in a world with that much magic, like, do you really need, like,
religion
God?
complicating everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what else do we have left to talk about? Oh, Ruby's chat with Cory. I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah.
The talk.
Oh, that was emotional.
When a good luck boy and a bad luck boy love each other very much. So yeah, I love this chat between Ruby and Crow. It was really adorable.
It was.
But I also loved like the fact that everyone else is down there having fun and eating cake and taking way too many selfies with questionable things. Ruby is the one who's sitting by herself being like, I'm angsty.
I know. I was like, Ruby.
Yeah.
Go hang out with your friends.
It's a nice contrast to the first part, isn't it? So
it is. Jason is killing it as Crow. Fuck yeah, he is. Holy
yes.
shit, is he doing a good job.
I really loved the fact that we had this talk, and this was a really, really great moment for Jason to shine as Crow. Like, he's been superb all throughout, but like this was a very, very deep scene between him and Ruby, and it was really, really freaking beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to say about Crow, is that I love that is bi representation for men as well. Because we've got bi representation for women in Blake, and she is my bi queen, and I will die for her. But Crow is my other bi queen, and I will die for him. So, I mean, he's radiated very strong bi energy since the beginning. So, and like, even the first time I saw him,
for me.
Okay. And like, yeah, I love that for Crow. I wonder if this means we're going to get more info on Summer soon. I don't know. They keep giving us little things here and there.
There was an interesting bit someone did comment, and that was the fact that she never returned on her final mission, as if they were trying to hint about the fact that maybe she's not dead if she never returned. So, yeah, they did hint. They did seem to hint that, it seems.
I know. I've seen that theory going around as well. I have a really hard time buying into it because I'm like, they would have never stopped looking for her. Like,
I mean,
see, that's the
why
thing.
wouldn't she come back? That's the thing. Like, at least we know Raven's motivation, but Summer apparently was a loving mother. Why would she stay away?
Well, someone commented on one of my videos, like for early access, that she could be a prisoner potentially. Who knows? But I'm not really so sure how to feel regarding like if Summer is alive. I guess it's all down. It's all down to how, like, if she is alive, it's down to how they manage to execute it, because it's a very, very big issue to stumble upon. Like if Summer's really alive. So yeah.
See, for
me, I would like to see it, but I just don't know if it's plausible.
Yeah.
See, for me, the big question isn't, is she still alive? It's what happened to her. Like, what happened to Summer? That's the big question for me. It's not, is she still alive? Because I don't think she is at all.
No.
Because, again, why would she stay away if she had been alive this whole time? Doesn't make any sense. So
I just think that the way that they phrased that that comment was more to they phrased it that way to show that Oz, like, to emphasize Oz was surprised, because like if they said when she died Oz was just as surprised as the rest of us, like, of course, because he wouldn't have sent her on a mission to, like, you know, to die. Like, he would have been like, oh fuck, she died, like, you know.
Well, he said that Oz seemed in the dark, but then he goes on to say, well, we don't know what he's hidden from us, so that could be bullshit. And it's like, well, yeah, it could.
Yeah.
We don't know Summer's semblance, do we? Nope. I have a feeling it may be... I have a theory that Ruby's semblance is hereditary. With Summer. I have a theory that they have the same one.
I don't know. It feels that... I feel like that would be too on the nose.
I know, but like her name was Summer Rose, and like when we saw her, it just kind of... Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if her semblance was hereditary.
But yeah. I did like get a bit teary-eyed when Ruby was reflecting on the fact that she's a huntress now, and then Crow said your mother would be proud, because I was thinking way back to Ruby's desire to become a huntress, and even though the characters have touched upon the fact that it seems trivial in comparison to what they've gone through, it's still a very, very beautiful moment to reflect on. And like I think it was reflecting as well as the way Jason delivered that line that made me a bit emotional.
Yeah. Brandon, Cinder is not Summer Rose, and let me tell you why. Because we know Summer Rose was a silver-eyed warrior. Cinder has not once demonstrated those abilities, so that makes no sense. But also just because, no.
Yeah. I feel like it would... I feel like if Summer was alive, it would make things too complicated or weird or just.
Yeah.
I just don't think it. I don't think it's a story thread that it makes sense for the story. Plus, also, I saw somebody. Somebody said if that was true, wouldn't Crow say something about it to Ruby? And it's like, yeah, because they're all under the assumption she's dead, and I don't think that, like, if Summer was still alive, why wouldn't they still be looking for her or something? Unless they were kind of pulling a thing like another show that's airing right now that I won't say just in case, but like that that they just, like, they were holding on hope too much and they needed to give them closure, so like told her that she's dead when she isn't, but I don't see it. I really don't see it.
Yeah, Brandon, I think she's dead, but how she died is probably important. That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's
not whether she's dead; it's how she died. What happened to her? Yeah.
Because we're obviously going to get like probably a one-off episode where we're focusing on Summer and Crow and all of them. But yeah, like I said, I'm not so sure how I would feel, because I think it would be too messy if we if like Summer was alive all this time. So
definitely.
Yeah. Because then it would just bring about like RWBY having abandonment issues, which we already have with Yang, and like I don't know, it feels
RWBY
like
was
it's
too
not something we need to
have
explore.
Issues from that. But also, like, Yang, her first mother left her, her second mother left and didn't come back. Blake left. She's like, man, fucking everybody I care about fucking abandons me. But, I wonder if there'll be some big plot twists this volume, like Raven in Volume 5. Maybe? I don't know. I feel like hindsight's 2020. Raven was very obvious in hindsight. But at the time, I was like, hang on a minute. Where the fuck did this come from?
Because the problem is they planted the evidence that it was Vernal in like just the right ways to make people feel sneaky for noticing them. And so when like it was, revealed that Vernal was the Spring Maiden, we were all like, aha, we're so clever. And then it's like, actually, it's like, shit.
Actually, you're all fucking idiots. You should have been paying closer attention. Because if you go back after when you know, and you can see all of the tiny visual cues that they give for Raven.
That's it.
So too little for abandonment issues. Tell that to Mia.
Oh, Arrow, yeah.
Yeah, Arrow.
I don't watch that.
I was gonna say you probably didn't get that.
Nope. Raven's hand was moving when Vernal was using the power. Exactly. It's little tiny things like that you don't notice the first time around. And you're not even looking for, that are there, but until you realize that Raven is the maiden and go back and watch it again, you're like, oh shit. It is there.
like that's always really, really like nice to go back to like certain episodes. You pick out little dialogues or pieces that kind of foreshadow, and you're like, should have clicked on or something, but
this show does foreshadowing really well. And it's always in the tiny, subtle details. Like Cory said, no detail in RWBY is meaningless. So everything is a foreshadow. And everything is symbolic and everything has meaning. They definitely, with their foreshadowing, they definitely get that. Where, like, I will hear a line or I'll see something and I'll go, that looks like foreshadowing to me. That stinks of foreshadowing. And like, so we need to wrap up. So is there anything we haven't covered?
Yang's outfit was cool. Oh yeah, Watson Jacques.
Oh boy. So saw this scene coming.
I mean, it was pretty obvious this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, of the two candidates, he made the most sense. I was surprised that they seemed to know each other, so I was like, oh.
Watts also saying that, like, Watts has also apparently appeared to have died before, at least to Jacques.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, also, Watts has legs for days. Holy hell! He
Mhm.
is the
Yes.
lankiest creature I've ever seen. And I thought Cory had long legs. Jesus. So Arthur faked his death, possibly.
Yeah.
Or maybe
I could,
there was some kind of accident. They thought he died when he really just disappeared.
which I can see him devising something to fake his death. He's pretty calculating.
Mhm. I mean, because he was also called he was the disgraced Atlesian scientist. That's what Raven called him in Volume 5. So makes
would
sense that
make
if he wanted
sense.
to fake his own death to escape his,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, reputation.
Yeah. I think he fucked
Yeah.
up majorly and disappeared after that. But yeah, the fact they know each other is interesting, and I want to know how they know each other, because I know there's a theory going around that they're brothers, but after this conversation,
I joked about
I
it
don't
in-
think so.
I joked about it in my reaction that I thought that they were brothers, and I was like, it's just because they have mustaches.
It's literally all it is. That's literally all it is. But after this conversation, I think not, because I feel like this is where they would have mentioned it, and they didn't. So.
He's an ex. Oh God.
Oh God!
Not
God.
the.
Oh no.
Gross,
Yeah,
gross,
no,
gross.
Like,
I
not
don't like
one.
it.
When we were talking about male representation.
That's not what we
No,
want.
that's not
No.
what we
No.
want. Nobody wants that.
I don't need that in my
I'm sorry.
brain.
I just had this theory that Jack's actually a woman at the end, and his name's really Jackie.
Oh God.
I don't know.
And on that note, we are done.
Oh, I also one interesting detail about it was that Weiss's picture on the bookcase is turned.
Someone in the chat just mentioned that.
Inward.
Who was it?
Yeah.
Agile just mentioned
It was Agile Dinosaur.
I didn't actually see that, so good pick. I've only watched the episode twice. I've not had time this week. Chapter 3 I've seen about 14 times, so it was really good.
Bloody Nora.
I really loved Chapter 4 as well, but I just haven't had time to rewatch it. Got here just in time for the end. Yes, we want male LGBT representation. What's his Jacques' ex? Abort. Jacques left Watts for Willow in the Schnee name. Ugh, let's get off this topic and wrap this shit
I don't
up.
I don't like this theory.
I don't like it at
Nope,
all.
sorry.
Get out
I'm
of here.
sorry.
Yep. Denied. Let's back it up here.
Why, Alex?
Before we start a new ship, let's get the fuck out. His office is very wooden compared to the icy look in Volume 4. That is a good
Yeah,
point.
he painted it brown. I was like,
Unless
it
it's a
was kinda
different
startling.
office, it looks like it might be
Yeah, I was
different.
gonna say unless it's a
It-
different office.
I thought it looked exactly the same,
Nah.
just different color.
That house is enormous. There's gonna be more than one office.
Mm.
Yeah. it
Now I
does
need
look
now I
very
want to go back
wooden.
and look.
Hmm.
I was like, I'm pretty sure it's the same office, but I
I
don't know.
think so. I'm gonna go
Um,
back and look as well, though.
One thing that did annoy me a little bit in that scene is the shadows in that scene were really good, except Watts is walking around that scene and has no shadow. There's no shadow that follows him around the
notice that.
scene, and I was like, ugh, he should be casting a shadow on that
Maybe
thing.
he's a ghost.
Exactly. He's a
New
different.
theory. He's a ghost.
vampire.
He's a
He
ghost
Has no
X.
shadow.
He's a
Ghost
hologram.
X.
Ghost.
He did die, but somehow he was able to remain on the material plane.
I love how half the chat is like ghost and the other half is vampire.
Yes. Yes.
It's a good point, Agile. Anyway, we need to wrap this up. So, thank you, Alex and Liam, for joining us today. In
Well,
this
predictions.
Thank you
very
for
early.
inviting.
Oh, predictions quickly. What are our predictions next week?
Well, I mean, we've seen the thumbnail, so we're meeting
I haven't
Robin.
seen it yet.
I haven't
Oh,
seen it
it's
yet.
Robin. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't actually seen it, but I heard that it's Robin.
Mhm. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I basically said my two theories were
Predict
we see
these.
Robin.
I
We see Robin, and then maybe some we see duo missions, and I just want some character
I want to
moments.
see
That's
the
all I want.
missions. I want to see Jean
Yeah, I
escorting
do.
children and then getting attacked by a humongous Grim and having to
Yeah.
deal with that on his own. I want to see that happen. I want to see them doing missions. Whoever got with the saber one that Elm mentioned, she said they need 2 people to do that one. I want to see a combination of people we haven't seen before go and tackle that.
yeah,
together.
I like that idea.
Kissy is apparently she's excited every week. It's hard to tell if there's actually going to be something huge happening or if she's just excited. Like, so let the bees smooch. We'll get to that. It'll happen. Don't worry.
I know.
This chapter 5 was written by Eddie again. Ooh, lovely.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Exciting. So there could be a bit of action in this one, judging by how Eddie's writing has gone previously. Tales of Bossing Say... I don't understand the reference.
Tales of Bossing Say.
Yeah, fuck.
It's an episode from Avatar.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Basically, it's just like a lot of like little stories.
Yeah, I think it will
Separate
be
stories that kind of come together.
It'll be a bitty episode. I think when we see Robin, it won't have anything to do with Team Ruby or Junior. It will just be her, and we'll be being introduced to her character, but not necessarily through the main cast. John saves the kids from the Grim. The kids' mothers are impressed.
I just want to see
Get it,
someone
John.
else. I just want to see someone else called Jean, Jim, or whatever.
Juan.
Juan.
Thirsty moms. I know he's got that young lad haircut now. So
Exactly.
Juan. Yeah. So
This also is going to be the longest episode that we've had so far.
wait, how many minutes is it?
Wait, what?
It's like just under 20 minutes, I think.
What?
It's like
Can we just say
48.
how good consistent this season has been?
Yeah,
Like
we talked
every
about it
season.
last week, but like 1958, Jesus Christ, it's chapter 5.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I'm here for it though.
I'm here for it totally, completely. See, this is what happens when you don't make freaking character shorts.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we get. We get more volume, and that's what we want. We don't want Adam character shorts. Get rid of that. We hate that shit. We don't want it. Okay? This is what we want. We want consistently long episodes. 1958. I can't believe that for chapter 5. That's insane.
I can't.
But yeah, the consistency, like you said, Alex, has been stellar so far this volume.
Incredible.
Consistent run
It
times,
has.
consistent good pacing, consistent animation, lighting, everything's been so consistent. Everything looks uniform, everything looks good. There's nothing hugely glaring that I've noticed yet. Every episode has its little like, that didn't look very good, or that was a bit off. But there's been nothing hugely glaring, and like the fact that every episode is 17 minutes plus is a blessing.
Yes.
Remember in
Yeah,
Volume
I'm
1 when
loving
we
that.
waited a week for a 3-minute episode? Because I do.
Don't.
Yeah.
No, I never waited because I only
I
caught up
never-
in volume 3.
Yeah, I had 4
You
volumes
did it
to
right.
catch up.
Yeah, well, you guys, yeah, I mean, for us OG people who've been around for fucking ages.
Oh, Alex.
Ooh, we're gatekeepers
Alex,
now.
We're feeling
Oh my
salty.
god. Just like, take a step back before I do my Australian accent
You
again.
know what,
Oh,
bitch? But, like, I've literally been making RWBY videos since the Red trailer was released, so I'm like, that was, like, almost 9 years ago now. So, I'm so old, I know I'm a dinosaur.
Was that
I'm a RWBY
really 9
dinosaur.
years
It was
ago?
nearly 9 years
It's on
ago.
6.
Yeah, going
Really?
on 9. Yeah.
I was
So,
on 6.
I
How have
remember
I only
waiting
known
a
you
week
60?
for a 3.5-minute episode, and it was horrendous. Yeah, it was so bad. 7? No, it was.
No,
at
I think it
least
would have
8
been.
years
I
ago.
think it would have been 8.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's
because
on
the
Disney
trailers came
now.
out for like a year before the first episode came out.
Yeah,
Oh,
the Red
wow.
trailer came out a year before the first episode was released, and there was a year and a half in between volumes 2 and 3. So it's been almost 9 years going on. Well, going.
7
It's
when
been
it
8
came
years.
out.
It's been 8 years.
Ah,
Yeah.
holy damn.
Yeah, it's been a long time. November 7th, 2012. 8 years then. Whatever.
Oh.
November 7th. That is bullshit. I don't believe that at all. I'm going to look that up. But anyway, in the credits of RWBY Season 10. Okie dokie. Wait, in the credits of... What are you on about?
That
Oh
was-
yeah, I think someone did tease about
Yeah,
like
that was
RWBY
when they.
did premiere after the finale of season 10 of Red vs.
Oh,
Blue.
right, but it wasn't released
Yeah.
on YouTube then.
Yeah.
It was
Mhm.
it was in RWBY, but the actual trailer itself, I didn't see that until that was released separately. So for myself, I've been making RWBY videos for about 8 years, almost.
That's insane.
It's been a long
Yeah,
time.
it's insane.
But yeah, anywho, we gotta wrap this shit up. I have to go to work.
Yeah, you have to go to work. You have work in less than an hour.
Listen, I'll make it work.
Hey,
Hey, let's fucking wrap this shit up. I hate myself. Okay. Thank you, boys, for joining us. It's been a pleasure, as always, to have you on. And to have
Thank
you
you
on
for-
together
I-
this year as well.
Yeah.
Woo! We should do this again.
Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome.
Yes.
Thank you for coming
It's always
back.
a pleasure.
I'm always like, every time I message people who've been on, I'm like, do you want to be on again? And I'm like, ooh. But
Just
yeah.
like no around, like yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes, thank you everybody who has watched, and if you are watching on YouTube, these are live streamed every Saturday at 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, usually. Not today, but usually. The schedule's all over the shop this year, so that's really fun for us. But we're making it work. So yeah, 9 a.m. Saturday mornings Australian time, they are streamed. So if you have not watched a live stream yet, what are you doing with your life? Go follow my Twitch and watch one. But otherwise, these will be up on YouTube 24 hours after they finish airing, so about this time tomorrow. Actually, I won't be awake at this time tomorrow. Maybe. We'll see. Actually, I'll be up late tomorrow because I'm not going to be here. So, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you so much to Alex and Liam again. And Cory, I guess, is here as well. Bye, everybody! Where are my credits?